I'm going through a pre-foreclosure and I don't know what to do. The truth is, a lot of you may be thinking this very thing right now. And honestly, I thought the exact same thing when I first got out of the Marines. When I first got out, I was trying to become a self-employed entrepreneur, and it was a very, very tough start. And I actually went through a pre-foreclosure. As a matter of fact, I was getting sued by multiple banks for a few $100,000, plus they were trying to foreclose on my property because I simply couldn't pay it. That's probably the position that a lot of you find yourselves in. Maybe you lost a job, or maybe you bought a house over the course of the last year or so, and the interest rate was so high, something happened and now you just can't pay the mortgage. Now, a pre-foreclosure starts when you have about 2 to 3 months worth of late payments. At that point, the bank will file what's called a lis pendens, and basically they're telling the county, listen, we're going to sue this person for possession of their property so we can sell it and recoup our investment. At this point, a lot of you feel that you have nowhere to go, no solutions, and matter of fact, you get very defensive when anybody tries to talk to you about it, which is understandable. I fully understand it is a very personal subject. However, there are options, there are solutions that can keep you from getting that foreclosure. And I'm gonna get into it right now. Stay tuned for the last solution. It is absolutely the most important. The first thing you have to do is actually fully understand what a pre-foreclosure is and how the process goes. So to simplify it in a matter of a few seconds, a pre-foreclosure is, again, when they file the documentation and they're telling you, we're going to take your house. You do something about it now or you're gonna lose your house. That's the basic explanation. The first thing you have to do is you have to have open communication with your lender. The truth is that a lot of you will ignore your lender's phone calls in fear that you're just gonna have to argue with them and you can't pay and it's very stressful. Listen, I completely understand. But if you have open communication with your lender, they can give you options to go ahead and either mitigate the stress or get rid of the foreclosure or pre-foreclosure proceedings altogether. So talk to your lenders, don't shy away from them, and let them know that you're willing to work with them to get this fixed. One of the solutions your lender may have is actually a loan modification. Now this can involve interest rates, it can involve the number of payments, the terms, the type of loan. Maybe it's going from a fixed rate to an adjustable rate to go ahead and lower your interest rate temporarily to go ahead and help you catch up. Or maybe you have the money to catch up today for today's payment, but you cannot pay the last 3 months. What they can do also is they can take your late months and put it towards the end of the loan to kind of help with that. Listen, speak with your lender about these options, about this particular option. I've had some clients take advantage of it, and it may be one that may be beneficial for you. Another option that you guys have is to actually refinance your property or your mortgage. Now, some of you may have 10, 12, 4 years. I've seen mortgages that have gone into pre-foreclosure that have 2 years left on the mortgage. But you know what? Life happens. So regardless of how much time you have left, and regardless that the interest rates are higher, consider refinancing it for a longer term, even at a higher rate, because if your payments go down, or if when you refinance and they close on that refinance loan, your next payment is not going to be due for another 2 months. That gives you a 2-month window to catch up on those payments and to build up a little bit of savings to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So even though you are looking at a higher interest rate, refinancing your property is one way you can potentially keep your property. The next option that you have, and it's where I would come in, is actually consider selling your house. This is where a lot of people start getting very emotional and very defensive because to them, this is their property. This is your house. This is your property. You have an emotional attachment to it. But what do you have more of an attachment to? The property, the memories, or the years and years and years of financial difficulties you're gonna have because you have a foreclosure on your credit report? With a foreclosure on your credit report, you can buy a house. You have to wait a number of years depending on the loan type in order to qualify for a mortgage again. So what's better? Let's get rid of this house. Let's take some of the profit, because obviously most of you have a lot of equity nowadays. Let's take some of that, put it towards a down payment of a different property. And yes, we'll be at a higher interest rate temporarily, but with this big down payment, it should mitigate some of the costs to where we're comfortable. Or you go rent for a year or two and then you wait till the rates come down. But at the very least, you avoid that foreclosure. Getting a foreclosure on your credit report will stay with you for years and years on end, and it will make a lot more things difficult than if you were to just sell right now. Another option that you have is actually a short sale. Now, what a short sale is when you sell the property for lower than what you currently owe. So if you owe $400,000 and you get the short sale approved to be sold at $300,000, that means there's a $100,000 negative balance on the bank's balance sheet, right? They have to approve of that. Not every bank will approve of that. Some people will disapprove a short sale and push forward towards a foreclosure because they can recuperate their money and then some if they were to sell the property. Now, a short sale, keep in mind, is tough to get accepted most of the time. And on top of that, even if you sell the house because of a multiple bid situation or whatever for more than what you currently owe, if it's a short sale approved home, the chances are the bank will not let you keep any of the profits and you will start at zero. So even though a short sale may be an option, it may not be the best option because at the end of the day, what your goal is to get out of this situation with the least amount of injury possible when it comes to your wallet, your finances, your credit, and things like that. So something to consider, although it may or may not be the best thing for you. Another option is to actually reach out to some government entities that have programs in place to help people like yourself that are going through this situation. While it's not the most desirable program to use because obviously now you're tied on a second level to a government entity because they helped you, it may be an option for you to keep your house. I'm going to mention this one again because I still believe it's one of the most viable options for you out there. Consider selling your home. Partner with a good real estate agent that can get your home sold for the most amount of money possible, of course, within the market value that's currently in your market. But at the very least, you'll avoid that foreclosure and you get to sell on your terms. You don't get to lose your house to the bank for them to sell and make a profit. Best case scenario is you'll make a decent profit that you'll put into savings, you'll rent a property out, you will buy another house, whatever the case may be, and you avoid the foreclosure and you do it on your terms. So consider selling your house if this is something that you feel lost in and you really don't see a way out of. If you have equity, speak to a good real estate agent and then give you the options as to whether or not it's possible to sell your house for more than what you currently owe, or if a short sale is probably the best way to go. So talk to a good real estate agent and they'll help you out. The last thing I'll say, and I believe the most important one, is you need to act fast. And I'm talking about yesterday. You need to go speak to your lender yesterday and find out what options are available to you. Can you do a modification? Would they approve a short sale if that's the direction you want to go in? You go to the government assistance programs and see if any financial aid that you qualify for is available to you. Go talk to a real estate agent. Find out if there's a way you can sell the property for more than what you currently owe, or at the very least, can you break even? Breaking even is way better than actually having a foreclosure on your record for years on end and screwing up your financial life. So, like I said, act fast, explore those options, don't give up hope. And if you're going through this right now and you have some questions, and I've dealt with plenty of foreclosures and pre-foreclosures and short sales and such, if you have questions, even if it's just asking a question, listen, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text. Share this with someone that you know is going through a pre-foreclosure and they feel lost and they don't know what to do about it. Share this with them and have them give me a call if they have any questions.